Have you ever considered travel nursing in Seattle, Washington? Stay tuned for the good, the bad, and the ugly about this rainy city. I'm Emma Pointer from TTT Nursing, travel nurse, coach, and author. I am always posting content for travel nurses, so if this is something you're interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Also, make sure you hit the bell to be notified when I post new content. So let's talk about Seattle, Washington, because that's actually where I'm at right now. I'm working in a PCU in a little suburb right outside of Bellevue. Contracted through New West, and I'm making $18.50 a week. So I was actually able to find housing 15 miles from the hospital. It's in this super cute waterfront community, really nice. It's actually a mother-in-law suite above somebody's detached garage that they rent out to travelers. My mother-in-law suite that I'm currently in is costing me $1,500 a month, which isn't bad compared to other places that I was looking. My landlords are pretty new to the process. I think I'm the second or third renter that they've had, but they were very open to doing a 3-month lease. However, I was unable to get a month-to-month lease for this specific place. Let's talk about why I picked this housing. So number one, I looked for housing that was much closer to my hospital, and it was coming out about $1,000 a month more to live in the actual city that my hospital is in. So was not really for that. I was able to find housing a little bit cheaper where I am 15 miles away. The big downfall to that is that traffic is terrible here. So 15 miles takes me like 45 minutes to get to work, depending on what time. I was day shift for the first week when I was doing my training, so that was terrible. That took a little longer. Working nights, I seem to be going in the opposite direction that most traffic is going in, so I'm able to get there in 40 minutes, 45 minutes, depending. So basically, I'm saving $1,000 a month, but I have to commute 40 minutes each way to work. What do you guys think? Is this worth it? Would you do this to save $1,000? If so, write "worth it" in the comments below. So now let's talk about this 3-month lease. To me, 3-month leases are always a little bit risky because of the potential for your contract to get canceled. That being said, any month-to-month lease place that I was finding was significantly more expensive. When I weighed the costs and the benefits, I was going to end up paying the same amount either way. Whether I'm paying for an entire 3-month lease with the potential of my contract getting canceled and me not finishing out my lease, or I'm paying month to month, but I'm paying more each month, where like 2 months at a more expensive place would be equivalent to rent for 3 months here. I know that's kind of complicated. If you guys are interested, I can always make a video to go over housing and what I look for in housing as a travel nurse. Just let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in. So let's talk about Washington in general. Washington State is a non-compact nursing license state, so you will need to obtain a Washington license no matter where it is that you're from. The whole process is pretty straightforward. You go ahead and you apply for a temporary license. Once you get accepted, they send you a card to do your fingerprints. You complete your fingerprints at your local police station, send the card back to them. They run a federal background check on you from those fingerprints, and if everything clears, they'll issue you a permanent license. So the temporary license that you get is good for 6 months. You're able to work with that, but it's always a good idea to go ahead and send those fingerprints off as soon as you get them, just in case there's any delay with the fingerprints or anything. You don't want your license to expire in the middle of a contract. Also, I started the whole process about a month before I wanted to start applying, because usually jobs like you to have the state license in hand. So that way, I think I was like 2 months before I wanted to start, 1 month before I wanted to start applying. So kind of plan in advance if this is somewhere that you want to go, and especially if you're used to working with compact states. Let's talk about location, because in the Seattle area, location is huge. It's very different depending on where you decide to live. So your options basically boil down to in Seattle or outside of Seattle. If you decide to live in Seattle, be prepared for everything that city life brings. Some people love it, some people hate it. If you want to be in Seattle, make sure you do research and make sure that the hospital that you submit to and that you get accepted to is actually within the city. A lot of times recruiters will post listings for Seattle hospitals that are within the surrounding areas. The Seattle suburbs are also a great place to go. The biggest thing to know about the Seattle suburbs is that traffic is terrible. If you are driving to work in Seattle or the surrounding areas, make sure you have plenty of time or that you live very, very close to your hospital. Let's talk about weather, because that is huge for Seattle. From my experience in the short time that I've been here, the weather has been everything that everyone says it is. It's been rainy, it's been dreary, but it's also been kind of nice. The temperatures are on the mild to cool side, which is actually quite enjoyable for me, you know, like 50s. My contract is from September to December, so that kind of gives you a frame for the time of year we're talking about. It's Seattle's rainy season now. But Seattle rain is a little bit different than what you think of. It's more of just like a misty, overcast, sort of dreary setting. It's not necessarily torrential downpour all the time, which to me, that's very manageable, and it's actually been pretty enjoyable. Speaking of weather, there are plenty of outdoor activities in Seattle and the surrounding areas that bring people here. I'm not much for outdoor adventures, but if you're into hiking, there's plenty of places to hike, and if you're into skiing, there are plenty of winter sports this time of year. I'm here for more of the sightseeing. I'm a quick 30-minute drive from the city, so I don't have to deal with the stress of city life, but I also can go and enjoy it on my days off.
This is cool. You see what I mean?
Now from now on.
I would highly recommend visiting Pike's Place Market, where they notoriously throw the fish. And also my favorite spot in Seattle is Cary Park, where you can see the Seattle skyline. In addition to everything that Seattle and surrounding areas provide, Seattle and surrounding areas are also a very short weekend trip to Portland, Oregon. The Oregon coast. We have loved visiting Portland and the Oregon coast. We've made several weekend trips out of it. Our favorite place has been Cannon Beach. We love the little city of Astoria.
You should come out here, it's pretty.
So much to explore that we're not used to being from the Midwest. It's just all very different out here, and we've been trying our best to take it in as much as possible. Do you have a friend who may be interested in travel nursing in Seattle? Share this video with them so they can learn all about it. Are you excited to get to travel nurse in places like Seattle, Washington, but don't really know where to get started? My ebook can be of great help to you. I go through the process of starting travel nursing, everything you need to know about travel nursing, step by step, so you can move along through it at your own pace. Also, I have an exclusive Facebook group called TTT Nursing, where you're able to post questions along the way and get personalized coaching from me. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love to see you there. I'll put links for everything in the description below. Thanks, see you soon.